Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for all those reviews. Reunited once again. Lots of goings on at the HQ at the new location, plus NFL Week 1. We didn't get to do a show last week, but we got one tonight. I think it's going to be a good one. Let's find out. Chris is here, shoveling coal, making the engine work per usual. Coach is joining us live from the Panhandle State, where he's got a questionable roster down there. John is in the land of Dion, where hope floats as abundantly as the legal
hell yeah
smoke. And of course, Angela joins us for somewhere in Wisconsin. How's everybody doing? We're back.
Good. Excellent.
It's been too long, people.
Yeah, we haven't convened since the Achilles tear heard around the world, the one that happened on just the fourth snap of his budding New York Jets career. Old Aaron Rodgers, he was hit on all
tragedy. The Greek tragedy, New York Jets.
Yeah, really. I mean, they ran 4 pass plays. He got hit on the first 3, and then the fourth one they took him down to the ground.
He went full Jason Street from Friday Night Lights. It's from Hollywood.
He did. That's not even the worst one. The worst one was Monday night. God, that was gross.
Off, broke
so
off.
Gross.
That was
Joe
Theismann-esque. It was gross.
Had him on my fantasy, lost by 1 point.
I fear we've seen the last of poor Nick Chubb. That was a rough one. That's the same knee he blew up at Georgia too.
I didn't realize I was watching some video that some like doctor did a breakdown, and I didn't realize when the knee pops out like that is totally dislocated, the severity because of the blood vessels that are in the inside. I didn't even think about that part of it, but I was like, oh my God, he could lose his leg.
Yeah, you got that femoral artery in there somewhere.
Oh, I'm going to spew, man.
Yep. Anyway, this Rodgers thing. This is the one scenario where everyone loses. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, the Packers. Even the kid Green Bay was going to draft in round 1 that probably now has to go to a shitty team. Everyone loses. The Jets crowd. I feel bad for those Jets fans. They were that first Buffalo possession. It sounded like a playoff game. And on third down, you could feel like they realized they were one stop away from the Aaron Rodgers era beginning in New York, and they're no longer going to be a joke. And it's all come together. Since February, when he said he wanted to play for the Jets, they've been waiting for this moment, and the fucking guy tears his leg in half. And that's that. They didn't even get the new additions graphic up yet, where they like run through the players. Utah State. They had to skip over and not talk about Aaron Rodgers and the new additions because he was already in the blue medical tent. Rough.
I was waiting for some kind of an excuses thing, like it was because of this, it was because of that, it was because of this, it was because of that, which I really didn't get. I loved and wanted to see him lose and fall, but not to injury. Nobody wants to see that. You want to see him get his ass beat fair and square,
Yeah, I wanted to be proven right. We'll never officially be proven right now.
Well, they're in a bad way. That was a pretty fall far from 1 to 2 there, and I don't know how you right that ship, but I do know that they probably ought to be blowing up the phone of everybody who's retired in the last 3 years and anybody who is currently close to a free agent that is remotely successful.
Yep. I have an interesting theory. I've put $5 American on The Jets signed Kirk Cousins 20-1. I think the Vikings continue to lose football games. The Jets don't have to give Green Bay their first-round pick anymore, so they now, I assume, have that available to trade. They send some draft picks out to Minnesota. Minnesota's already on the hook for all Kirk's money. It's all guaranteed. They probably don't mind paying some of it. They work out some sort of money split there, send Kirk to New York, and the Jets are back on the Super Bowl track.
I'd love that.
Kirk Cousins is the most Jet quarterback that I've ever heard of that's not a Jet quarterback.
Yep.
You know, I just saw a graphic. If we're going down this rabbit hole and we're going with this, Kirk Cousins, so we'd have an NFC North reunion in the AFC East. He's 4-4-1 against Aaron Rodgers, which is a lot better than a lot of other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess he wouldn't be playing Aaron Rodgers. We'll edit that out, except this is live. I'm an idiot.
I saw some other weird stat too that was showing like he had like some of the best games of his life when his defense was actually the very worst that they could have been. And I was like, how could it be possible? I'm like, it's Kirk Cousins. That's how it's possible.
I guess I just want to see the Jets play good football because I want to see that fist fight in the AFC East.
Yeah.
And as somebody who hates Aaron Rodgers, the Packer, I was actually rooting for Aaron Rodgers, the Jet, to just go and wreck shop there in the AFC and just mix it up. I mean, sure, add another good quarterback to the AFC and see how that goes. I was pumped to see what product they put out, and to be honest, I'm not going to watch a single Jet game again.
Yeah, now they probably have all these primetime games stacked up.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, I was fired up about watching the dog fight that the East was going to be. I mean, I was really fired up about seeing the Bills and Dolphins and Jets battle it out at the top. Now it just kind of seems like it goes back to the pillow fight, and I think that I don't know how the Jets managed to squeak that one out in week 1, but I after watching the Patriots, I know that they don't really have they're running for about distant third, and the Dolphins look good, but they're the Dolphins, so you can't put a ton of stock in them. It just really weakened the division that was really going to be amazing going down the stretch. I think it would have raised all of the other ones in the division.
Sal is a hell of a coach for getting those boys out of the locker room to win that game in the second half.
Yeah,
I figured all the wind was out of the sails.
Yeah.
Your number one QB went down. Now what? That's his thing. Now what? We got now what on the wall. So get on the phone. Get Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
Sean McVay hurried his team to the line to kick a field goal down 10 to San Francisco with 4 seconds left, and he says it had nothing to do with the 7.5-point spread. I don't believe him.
Hey, listen, you'll never convince me that there's not some phone calls being made to some people around. And if you're a gambling man, which I know none of you guys are, but if you're a gambling man, I'm telling you right now, you are literally, you have to accept the fact that there's some smart money somewhere that's making phone calls, making things happen. I mean, I'm not going to say the game's rigged, but I'm telling you, there's some people that win when they want to win.
Jonah's here. Now it's a party. Yeah, it seems like if 80% of the money is on a team, that side usually does not come through.
This is pretty cut and dry. There is no other reason they would kick a field goal other than to help somebody out. They did it for a reason, no doubt.
We see
the world's
college
pretty
teams...
simple, folks.
Yep. Occam's wager.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
We see college teams do this all the time. Cover the spread for the boosters and the fans. What's the big deal if NFL teams do it?
Yeah. No, it's
a
real thing.
Faux pas. Well,
if you think it's not a thing, it is. It's very much real.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no other explanation for that field goal. What, we wanted to get some reps in for a special teams unit.
Yeah, he straight up said he had no clue what that was about, which, survey said that was a lie. I think they opened the envelope in a green room somewhere and said, that's a lie.
The alarming part to me was that referee was in a real hurry to get that ball spotted. Like, he was in on this too. Smells fishy. So we're 2 weeks in.
It reeks, but it is what it is.
It's never too early to be wrong about the NFL. Let's talk a little bit about our impressions so far. Here's some of my observations. 1/8 of the way through the season. Baker's 2-0, which is great for the show. Justin Fields is 0-2, which could also be equally good for the show. We'll see. Justin said he's thinking too much out there. He needs to just be himself and play his game. And then when they asked him what has him thinking too much out there and has him playing robotic, as he said, coaching probably. So great answer.
It was swiftly retracted when he called the reporters over to his locker 15 minutes later.
The retraction interview. What is the temperature of Bears fans right now, John? What's
Pissed.
the approval rating? I listened to a little Chicago
coach's giggle says it all. Coach is smitten.
I listened to the score, I think it is, down in Chicago, and boy, the callers they want the backup quarterback in there. They want everybody fired.
Yeah.
Sell the team.
We'll skip over whatever weird juju's happening with our defensive coordinator because are there charges being brought against him? He says no. His lawyer says no. There's some weird stuff going on. We'll skip over that because we have no idea. I will tell you, everybody wants the head coach and the offensive coordinator fired. I mean, just the look
again this year.
This has the look and the taste and the smell of Nathaniel Hackett.
Ooh.
Where it's, oh shit, we made a mistake. These guys are not even. This looks like an expansion team. This looks like the 99 Browns, the 95 Panthers, whatever it is. It looks like an expansion team made up of all the broken toys from all of the NFL teams, coached by somebody who just got out of the XFL. So I would say there is not one person that's optimistic. Now, there was a hint of it today as Justin Fields basically said, screw the coaches. I'm just going to go out there and spin it. It was like, okay, well, maybe we'll watch a quarter this week because everybody across the board is groaning, rolling their eyes, and whether they're saying it publicly or thinking it privately, they're saying, I got to come up with a hobby this fall because I am not watching this dog shit after we spent so much time and effort on the defensive end with a defensive coach who can't even get his side of the ball right. We've got offense that looks and smells exactly like Matt Nagy and his failed offense.
Oh.
And let's be honest, Justin Fields should be better. There is no reason Justin Fields through 27 games has a worse throwing percentage. He has a worse overall metric in all stats than Trubisky other than his rushing yards.
Justin Fields' name should be Patrick Mahomes. That's your first fuck up.
Patrick Mahomes may not be Patrick Mahomes.
That's the old regime. We can't. That was a different GM named Ryan and a different head coach named Matt. Now we've got a new GM named Ryan and a new head coach named Matt, and it's the same result. And everybody's just saying, "You got to be kidding me! This is a comedy of errors," and just tear it down. Get a new offensive coach for the love of God, please, and fix the defensive side of the ball. Because if the Bears have a bad defense, something ain't right. And our defense is god awful.
We got the brain trust of Coy and Cole chiming in. They say Luke Getsy is the OC, suggesting he's pulling some kind of inside job down there.
Hey, Cole, we're pulling for you, baby.
Yeah, he's the old quarterbacks coach. And, let's get somebody who's been an offensive coordinator. Let's start there. Somebody who's a play caller.
So let's
done it before.
Let's just say, for instance, that the Bears clean house yet again this year. Who are we going to try out next year? Who's on your top list?
Are you in the Caleb Williams business?
Well,
are we tanking for Williams? Is that what we're doing?
Might as well. It's going to be a race to the bottom.
I think you should go get Gundy. That's what's going to turn Chicago around. Little Mike Gundy in the mullet.
Yep.
Obviously a lot of those calls for firing, there's no plan to have somebody brought in. It's just, for the love of God, can we get somebody who can run a franchise, come out week one and look like an equitable football team? We need to bring in somebody with deep offensive knowledge. That's for sure, because
They
defensive
have
coaches are not
definitely-
faring well.
They've,
No, they are
they've
not.
definitely looked pretty far from that in week 1 and 2. I mean,
This is not.
they've looked pretty bad.
The year of our Lord 2023 is not the time to hire a defensive head coach. Angela, your fan club is here. Jordan says hello.
What up, homie?
So to answer the
Wednesday.
question, the temperature in the room for Bears fans is it's been on fire, and we didn't realize it for the last year. All of those
Yep.
moves that we thought were great. Hey, we got some good linebackers. We got some defensive tackles in free agency. We've got a third year with our quarterback who's going to be flashy and he can run as well. And it's like, well, all the wheels fell off and the house has been on fire this whole time.
They sold that so hard too. There
Yep.
was some divisional, dominance talk there.
Well, I mean,
what it looks
I
like.
actually thought that would take a little bit. I really thought that the Bears would be. Oh, I don't want to say challenge for the North, but I thought that they would be very formidable. I mean, I thought that they would win some games that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
And man, I just after the 2 weeks, I don't see that happening at all. Like they literally could not win a game this season. They could be the Williams kid. That could be what they're all in on.
They could end up with the first and second pick.
A sign of just how weird it is from an offensive standpoint is the pick six that was thrown on our goal line was the result of the same play drawn up from the same formation, ran 3 times in a row. It just makes you wonder, all joking aside, all banter and all that aside, do the head coach and the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, are they not all on the same page at all? Because somebody there has got to say, this is a dumb idea. Or if it's pride that, we're going to keep running the same play because it's not working. There's something seriously broken in the chain of command that 3 people are going through with that. Even at a certain point, the quarterback's got to say, what the hell are you guys doing here? We're backed up on our own 5. You want me to throw a little dump off screen, a little slip screen, gets picked off because if you watch the DN, he cheats up and he knows exactly what's going to happen.
He knew it was coming. Yep. The AFC North seems like it's Ravens or Steelers. Joe Burrow, not himself. Neither is Deshaun Watson. Or here's a scarier potential scenario. What if Deshaun Watson is himself? And this is just what you get for your giant contract. If that's true, then that's one of the worst contracts ever written in sports because he looks bad. I traded for him in the Dynasty League. I am regretting that decision.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see him starting any games for the Grit Factory this year.
So you take that much time off from NFL, it's hard to catch up. I mean, he's lost his juice, that's for sure. No pun intended.
3 NFC South teams are 2-0. Saints, Falcons, and Bucks. The Falcons just beat the Green Bay Packers down there in Atlanta. It was a sad fourth quarter they put together. Overall, I'm happy with the Green Bay Packers. I think they look like a potential playoff team, which is all we're asking this year. Just make progress. The Eagles look like they have a Super Bowl hangover. The Giants no longer have Saquon. They're likely fucked. The Cowboys, I hate to say, looking pretty good. Micah Parsons cruising to a defensive player of the year, unless TJ Watt just had a fumble recovery touchdown the other night. Those two are going to, I think, fight it out to the last week for defensive player of the year. They both have a touchdown at this point.
That'll be fun to watch, actually.
Cowboys look great. I'm very impressed with the Cowboys, but God bless them. They've been making a lot of good choices in the draft.
Yeah.
They've got a sturdy offensive line and they got a stout defense. And Dak Prescott is not handing the ball over left and right.
I'm not in it. I don't believe it. I think it's a crock of shit. And I think they'll Dallas Cowboy. You just haven't had time yet. It's going to happen.
Well, that defense is good, coach.
Yeah. Mike Parsons wants to run Mike Vrabel routes.
Parsons is really a dude.
From a fantasy standpoint. So I draft them on a few, and they're really good.
Yeah. No, they are decent, and they've taken advantage of some really bums. I mean, they've rolled some rummies, and so it's time to see. You know, I mean, the rubber meets the road when they play the Eagles. Can they play with the Eagles? I mean, you know, they're just they're not. I don't think they played anybody to be able to. I mean, who have they played really? Quarterbackless Jets, and they started the season off with the Giants, who we've come to determine are real world beaters. I mean, so let's put away the anointing oil in week 2, okay? Let's not get carried away with the Cowboys talk here. Now, like I said, they have to play a team in green, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Jordan Love still MVP, first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think the Packers have it made because there's the expectation is like, oh, Aaron Rodgers is gone. Like they could never do that amazing. So they have low expectations in that way. Like I think there's not a lot of pressure. I mean, Packer fans are rabid some of the time, but I don't know anything like halfway amazing that he does. I think is going to be
we're
celebrated.
We're going to peel the scab on the Packers talk. They straight up blew it last week. I mean, they straight up had that game and should have won it, and they blew it. And it really irritated me because, you know, don't get me wrong, I was happy that they went ahead and covered, but you know, I did not like the fact that they choked down the stretch there, and I thought they should have won that. That was a game that should have really been won. And I think that this week is a very winnable game at home that they should win, but they have a pretty good team coming in there, and I actually like the other side of that. So
interesting. Coy says the Bears will probably choke away the first pick. That's what they'd do. They'd win in week 17. Yes, Jordan. After 2 starts, we can confirm Jordan Love is a Hall of Famer. He's president of the Jake Ferguson fan club. I should have bet Jake Ferguson first touchdown last week. That's on me. Jordan tried to tell me. The Sean Payton Russ situation, they have yet to win a game. Big time choke job at home.
There's going to be a murder in Denver. And it's going to be if Russell Wilson dies under suspicious circumstances, it was definitely Sean Payton. You can tell he hates Russ Wilson.
Oh my God.
Do you think he'll bench him for Jarrett Stidham?
No, I think he will trot out Russ Wilson until it is abundantly clear that he can get rid of him. And that's a huge cost. They haven't even started paying him yet. But I think he's the kind of guy that will let it fail to the point that he can actually do something about it. I don't think he's going to protect Russ at all, try to let him, sit and watch or whatever.
It's like, what do you want me to do?
I think he's trotting him out there. You're our franchise quarterback, and we are going to win or lose whether you play or not, because I'm going to call all the right plays and all that. That's going to be his mindset.
Yeah, he's not. Peyton knows he's not going anywhere. If anything, they'll get rid of Russ and they'll trust Peyton to solve the problem that was Russ.
At this point, to the Raiders.
He'll stick it out.
How do you get when you get the Hail Mary touchdown at the end, you win the game. That team doesn't lose. You have destiny on your side.
Yeah, they're not quite to where Bears fans are yet, but they are pretty close. There is a lot of frustration here in Denver.
Well, and they have a real I think they have a pretty good crossroads game this week that is winnable, but I mean they're in a bad way. They need a win in the worst way because the West teams will run off and leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that division is no joke. Speaking of AFC choke jobs, the Chargers in mid-season form, averaging almost 30 points a game, and they're 0-2. In Tennessee, Herbert threw for 300 yards. He threw no interceptions. They held Derrick Henry under 100 yards, and they still lost that football game.
Hey, I tell you, I mean, I was on that game early, and it's simply because Vrabel at home is really, really tough. He's a tough guy to deal with at home, and they play hard. They do some things that are really right. They play some gap sound football, and I like watching them play because of that. They don't. I mean, Henry is a dude, but they don't have world beaters outside of him. They really don't. I mean, they just line up and play hard, and they especially play hard at home.
Yeah, you got DeAndre game time decision Hopkins, who you never know what you're going to get there. He was good enough, but he's got some kind of ankle thing that I'm sure is going to nag him all season. The Colts tight end Kyle Granson caught his first career touchdown, and then he did a photo shoot with the ball. The caption said, "After 3 years of trying, it's finally here." He's got a football wrapped up in a blanket. Him and his wife did a whole photo shoot like it was a baby.
I saw
Pretty
that,
lame, bro.
I thought that was kind of interesting, but hey, man, what if it took you 5 years to get there, and now you're at the top of the mountain? Good for you, man. Schedule all the photo shoots you want.
That was her idea.
Oh.
I think Cole's talking about the Packers. He said the offense hasn't looked bad at all. It's the defense that was supposed to be the strength of the team. Yeah, I think the offense is overachieving, and the defense was supposed to lock that game down. Like that's their job. You're on the road. You're up like a dozen points in the fourth quarter. Figure it out.
They laid down. And the Falcons. We're not talking about a juggernaut. I mean, it's
he's talking about Denver.
I was gonna say, you could have been talking about the Vikings. You could have been talking about.
You know what Denver needs to do? They need to get fucking Marvin Mims involved.
It's really looking. I mean, Green Bay is a perfect example of that. I mean, the defense was supposed to be the strength of the team, and they, like I said, it was the Falcons. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't on the road at Kansas City. It's the damn Falcons.
We're talking about the Atlanta Bijan. Just everybody, you have number 7. All 11.
But it's a young team, and you got to expect. And here's the thing: a realistic Packer fan, you got to expect that they're going to take some lumps like that. They're going to lose some games that they should win, and hopefully, it's not really about that. It's what do you learn going down the road? Because maybe it's next season, maybe it's the season after that. You're going to be in that close game where you need to pull it out. And what did you learn from this one? I mean.
Yep.
They're going to be in other spots where they're in a game where they really need to win. They didn't really have to win that game. Nobody really gives a shit whether they win or not. It's just one of those things of, that it would have been nice to go ahead and seal that up. And they folded like a young team will sometimes. And it was on the defensive side of the ball, which is disappointing because that was, like we said, that is supposed to be the strength of their team. Love has looked good. I will give him that. He's looked good through 2 weeks. It wasn't him.
Leads the league in touchdown passes. No big deal.
Yeah. Denver's in trouble, especially if they lose this week. And I'll say that to anybody, especially you, Cole, who's a Broncos fan. You better hope they win this week because it doesn't get any better. And let me just tell you, that's spiraling. The
only team that started 0-3, I think, since 2000 in this century to make the playoffs was the 2018 Houston Texans. So you better go 1-2, boys.
Which had a whale of a defense.
Yeah, they had a dude named J.J. Watt in the peak
he's kind of goodish.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Speaking of kind of goodish football players, Deion Sanders, he's the darling of the entire sports world right now. I saw him on 60 Minutes. Over 9 million people watched Colorado play Colorado State at 10 o'clock at night. It was like the third most watched college football game ever. Blenders Eyewear said, "We found our Jordan after selling $5 million in sunglasses last week after Deion gifted the team sunglasses." And I guess that was all it took.
I got an interesting take for you on this. The people who are sitting there, they're watching this right now, who's got to feel like their ass is chapped the most, is got to be the old Pac-12, because after this has just come apart like the Space Shuttle Challenger, their conference, it's literally just come apart, and now they're locked in a legal battle with Washington State and Oregon State, and they're probably not going to win that. So this deal has come apart, and they're sitting there watching Deion now, who is their media darling that they always wanted and tried to make Oregon, but people just didn't get enough interest. They have one now. They have a face of a conference, and they literally let him walk. I mean, they let that whole deal fall apart. I mean, he literally could have single-handedly saved their conference.
Yep.
I was not on it. I was like, whatever. Okay, Dion, here we go. And then they did a human interest piece with those two old, like 90-year-old twins, Peggy and Betty or whatever. And then he had like this warm, fuzzy meeting with this old lady she goes to every game. And I'm like, oh, he's great. I got to
He's a captivating dude. He's really entertaining to watch, and the way that he motivates young people is interesting. I mean, I like watching it, and I like the fact that he cuts a big wake and really doesn't concern himself with what others think, which is rare in this world. And he is a big enough personality and the credentials to be able to do that.
Yep.
And I think, I don't know who said it, he's a good coach, but he'll finish 8-4. Somebody in the chat said that, but they're probably right. Yeah. They're probably 100%
They were only supposed to win 2 games.
And it'll be a great season.
Yeah. They get
go ahead.
What? Colorado gets Oregon this week in the Battle of the Merchandise Titans. The Oregon Ducks mascot, Puddles, does 1 push-up for every point the team scores. They score a touchdown, he does 7. They score another touchdown, he does 14, and so on. Well, the Oregon Ducks scored 81 on Portland State week 1, which comes out to 546 push-ups for old Puddles. I couldn't find if that's the record or not. I'm not sure how long this tradition has been going on, so I can't really just compare box scores, but it has to be close. He was gassed. Old Puddles was laying on the sidelines getting fanned by people.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks for this weekend. Colorado's going to Oregon.
Yep.
And I'm looking at a 21-point spread. Now, tell me that's not a lucrative offer if you're going to take the Buffaloes.
Have they won every game by 21? It seems like they're winning easily.
Money line is plus 650. Dollar bet club might just sprinkle a little on that.
Ooh.
I just don't see a team beating them by 21. Now, they're down Travis Hunter.
That's true. That's a big one.
The money line might not be a great one, but 21 points, you got to know he's going to have them jacked up to go play Oregon.
Hey, that's a lot. That's a lot of points on the road. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of points. I mean, I know that the Oregon is supposed to, really, really be pretty good, but I mean, 21 points to a team. I mean, I don't know. I look at them and I think, is the Oregon defense better than TCU's at home? I don't know. Now Eugene will be rocking, and it'll be a rowdy environment, but I don't know. 21 does seem like a lot to me.
Yeah. Because what was it week 1 when they were unproven? I think it was 23 and a half.
23,
well, it was 23 last week. I mean, they were favored by 23 last week. And I honestly thought Colorado State would, I thought Colorado State would put up a little bit more of a fight than they did. But
yep. Speaking of putting up big numbers, Dolphins cornerback Xavier Howard allegedly has 4 women pregnant right now. That's cutting a big weight, Coach.
Oh my God.
That's putting in work.
That's you need to find a new hobby, bro.
You need to talk to your agent about guaranteed money in your contract.
Well, they have procedures for that. I mean, if you want to be that dude, go get it taken care of.
Cromartie defeated that.
They also make male birth control pills too, I believe. Just saying.
There are methods. There are methods and means.
This is fix stupid though. You can't fix stupid.
That's true.
And that's all that is. 4?
Yeah, no, because those trophies stick around long after your career's done.
Yes. Oh, speaking of, and I didn't get this in the rundown because I just saw it on the local news on my way out the door. A Detroit Lions fan walked into a Green Bay bar and stole a replica Super Bowl trophy that was given to the bar by Donald Driver, retired Packer great Ring of Honor member.
That is nice.
Stuffed it under his ugly blue sweatshirt and walked right out of the place with it.
How did nobody see that happening and jump him immediately?
Yeah.
A Wisconsin beatdown.
Yeah. They have video. But this is a This is a legal matter of a different color. It seemed like it's sports adjacent. Fucking Franklin Street in Midford, Mass is the place to be, kid. Or it was anyway, before the old lady next door snitched everybody out. These people in a residential neighborhood paved over their backyard, installed 2 volleyball courts with stadium lighting where they held tournaments with cash prizes. Evidently, they had a big social media presence. And as Maria next door says, screaming, yelling, talking loud till midnight. It became such a disturbance that a task force was created to deal with these rogue volleyball enthusiasts.
An HOA task force.
When they dug into it, they learned that it's not just cash prizes. There's a significant amount of gambling.
Oh,
illegal alcohol sales.
The hell you say?
The cops said it was like being at Foxwoods. They had table games, alcohol, and tobacco sales. They estimate about $1 million changed hands around these volleyball courts over the course of the summer.
Being rad.
Yes.
Being rad.
They shut it down for being too rad. He's changing his story. He says 7-5. We'll take a loss to Oregon, USC, Oregon State.
I mean, you know,
even 7 wins is impressive.
I don't want to shift gears too much here, but you know, I mean, somewhere I really would just like 15 minutes with the people that wrote the Constitution of this country and ask them, hey man, and anywhere in there does it say anything about an HOA or people being in your business that live next door? I mean, because I'm pretty certain that wasn't the case.
It does.
I know
actually.
That's a whole nother talk show.
It does. It says it in there. It talks very apparent about it.
I knew I'd get Chris fired up here.
There's a paragraph.
I missed the section in there, the amendment that covers the HOA.
Yeah.
No, it covers the part where you can shoot fucking communist, coach. That's the part that I'm referring to, the Second Amendment. The communist fucks.
All right, back to sport.
Big communist.
Obligatory hockey talk. That'll get us back on track. The San Jose Sharks changed their logo from a badass shark biting a hockey stick in half to some kind of sleek shark fin looking thing. And I believe someone needs to go to jail for this.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Everybody hates it.
I don't like it at all.
Terrible. They had one of the best logos in the sport, which there's a lot of great logos in the NHL. And now they're bottom 3, possibly worst. I don't know. That coyote is really fucked up looking. I think the coyote is solid and last still.
Yeah.
But this new adaptation of, I don't know if we're trying to change the image of sharks. They got enough bad press lately or what, but it's not very intimidating. It's like when the Penguins went from the penguin playing hockey to just a penguin head. Not nearly as cool.
Nope.
No. Or the Bucks. The Bucks went from the Bucks spinning the basketball to just a head of an animal. Not as cool. Did you know the Pittsburgh Penguins season tickets are delivered to your door by actual Pittsburgh Penguins? Since 2007, the team has been sending players out to hand deliver season tickets to fans. I saw a video of Sidney Crosby walking up to some Yinzer's house with a little duffel bag like, here's your tickets.
Oh my God,
really
that's
cool.
awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. That's fabulous.
Yeah, that's the kind of customer service you get from hockey. If only they could publicize their sport a little better. I was thinking the Brewers should do this, but Milwaukee is nearing like murder capital territory. So you probably don't want to be walking up to random houses in Milwaukee with a duffel bag. I wouldn't recommend that. Remember that time Coach tried to tell Commissioner Cooper that Aaron Rodgers and the sorry Jets were going to win the East and the Dolphins won? I do recall that day. I was there.
We're gonna take victory laps in week 2. Is that what we're doing here? We're gonna go ahead and declare ourselves winning the East in week 2.
I'll have you know, I
man.
defended Mike McDaniel in our chat about what a badass he actually is a couple days ago. Just saying.
Let's go ahead and let the season play out for a minute, will we?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some.
Now, I will say that the Jets are out of the way, so I mean, you know, it's pretty much going to be them and the Bills, which I'll still take the Bills.
Bills are pretty good. When Josh Allen stops throwing picks, they win their football games.
But you know, I mean, guys, it's week 2. So here we are in week 2. We have Dallas fans and pretty close to the same of the Dolphins fans declaring their Super Bowldom right now in week 2. We have the Bears who are folding up shop and the season's over. We have the Vikings who are pretty much worried about where Kirk Cousins is going next year. I mean, this week 2. It's week 2. Just hold on a minute.
I totally agree.
Let's just wait a minute and see what happens here.
Yeah. Yesterday was National Pepperoni Pizza Day. There's a day for everything. Now, our friends over at the Millie Goats podcast do a lot of this National Day stuff. Pizza is an integral part of watching sports, so I think it applies. I have here a list of America's favorite pizza toppings. Yet another poll I was not asked about. Number 1 is pepperoni. Of course, that didn't surprise me. Number 2, bacon. Sausage, number 3. Peppers, number 4. And number 5 is some sort of tie between mushrooms, pineapple, and chicken. I'm really surprised bacon's number 2. I don't really like bacon on a pizza. Bacon on anything hijacks the entire dish, and it just tastes like bacon. So I pretty much just do bacon with breakfast. If that makes me some sort of bacon Nazi, I don't know. But a bacon cheeseburger is just a bacon sandwich.
I'm kind of shocked that pineapple and mushrooms are neck and neck.
Yeah. Well, Pineapple's been set up to fail by Big Ham. That's not how you eat pineapple on a pizza. You need sausage, pineapple, and jalapenos. That's the recipe. You're welcome, America.
If a pineapple is grilled, there's something good going on. If you're just throwing pineapple chunks on a pizza, you should be arrested. If they're grilled, we can talk.
There's people that truly believe that pineapple belongs nowhere near a pizza.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on what type it is, but it's got to be grilled.
Yeah,
and it never is. So
I got you.
Keep it off. Keep it off.
Great American debate. Someone is hacking Las Vegas, and I can't believe how little coverage this has gotten on like major news outlets. Caesar's Palace was possibly the first victim. They've now confirmed the rumor that they paid the hackers $30 million to go away, and it seems like they did. The group called themselves Scattered Spider, which reminds me of that guerrilla group in Tropic Thunder, Flaming Dragon. When they broke into MGM properties, MGM decided not to pay the money, and now they're instead paying the consequences. This has been going on over a week at this point. The hackers have locked all the slot machines and the ATMs. They got employees down there hand paying out jackpots at the slot machines. The card readers don't work, so nobody can use a card to get into their room. If you leave your room, you have to go get someone on the staff to walk you back to your room and let you in. Casino employees are now reporting that weird charges are popping up on their cards. They think their Social Security and all their information has been compromised. I saw a photo of a two-way radio duct taped to an elevator door that said something like "call for assistance if you need it." So it's a problem. I've been keeping tabs on this thing pretty much since it started. It seems like they're going property to property. Now they're moving on from MGM to another one, I'm pretty sure. You would think a town like Vegas would have the best firewall in the world. How did they pull off this elaborate hack, you wonder? How did they get into this state-of-the-art digital system? They found the LinkedIn profile of a guy who works there with his title, email, and contact information. They called the help desk and said, "Yeah, I'm this guy. I forgot my password. I need to reset my password." And the help desk was like, "You got it, dude." It took like 5 minutes and they were in.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Now add to this the fact we just had a jet fly off on its own. And you have to wonder if the world just belongs to computer nerds now.
Right. Kind of crazy. What's going on? That's wild.
Yeah. Crazy. I saw this other.
You're hiring lazy people is what it is. Yeah, it's me. I need to get into my password.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, totally. I got you.
No problem, Bill. This is another story out of Las Vegas. Brandon Rashad Johnson, he picked the worst time to get busted. Had he waited another week, he probably could have Chandra Levi'd this thing right underneath all the hacking. His scam that he ran was simple. He would send fraudulent refunds for reservations that didn't exist to his personal credit card, basically a digital way to reach into the till and pull money out. I assume he did this once or twice for an easy couple grand and then nothing happened. So he did it again and again and again. During an internal audit and investigation that started July 15th, it was discovered there were 309 refunds done by Johnson to the same Visa credit card number. Now, I'm no district attorney, but that sounds like 309 charges if they want to be dicks about it.
Absolutely. That's totally traceable. So dumb.
Yeah.
How do you... So dumb.
Transactions took place over a 12-month period from July 22 to 23. 4 days after the investigation began, he quit his job via text message. I'd love to know what that text message said. Just not working out.
Not coming in
Not a
today,
fit.
bro.
Not a fit.
No.
Not coming in today or any day.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Not
gonna work here anymore anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
Have you heard of back to sports? I had to add Goff, G-A-U-F-F, to my correct words and spell check, and we need to have this girl on our radar if we want to call ourselves a sports podcast. Corey Dion Coco Goff, age 19, is the next big thing in tennis. That's what they're saying, and they're usually right about this stuff. Here's what her Wikipedia says. Coco Gauff has won 6 WTA Tour singles titles, including a major at the 2023 U.S. Open. That's where I heard about her. I saw her playing at the U.S. Open. And 8 doubles titles, 5 partnering with Jessica Pegula, and 3 with Katie McNally. Both parents NCAA Division I athletes in basketball and track and field. She became the #1 junior in the world after winning the Junior 2018 French Open singles title. Wait, so it's 2023 now, and she's 19. 2018 was 5 years ago. So she won this French Open at 14, 15 years old.
Oh my
That's crazy
God.
stuff.
That's crazy.
She rose to prominence with a win over Venus Williams in the opening round of Wimbledon in 2019.
Awesome.
Where she got a wild card into the qualifying draw. She became the youngest player in the tournament's history to qualify for the main draw. So she's something else. Tennis has been around a while.
She's spunky and funky too. Did you see the footage of her giving the ref the what for? Where she was like, pardon me, but guess what? Guess who's not playing by the rules? And oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Yeah, she's got a little McEnroe in there.
Yeah.
I did not.
She's like, she's not supposed to be sitting down. She's not supposed to be doing that. Oh my God. You go, girl.
Yeah.
She's a badass. I like her. Hope she kicks ass continually.
That's one vote. We had the Savannah Bananas roll through Franklin, Wisconsin recently. I didn't go. Tickets are $180 American, which seems crazy to me.
No.
There were a lot of scams on Facebook for fake Bananas tickets. I'm glad those are gone.
Yeah,
but
I passed on that when they rolled through town too. I took a look at the ticket cost and that was a no can do.
Yeah,
I vetoed that right off my couch. Nope.
You're not getting 180 of my dollars times 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Can you bet on them? Probably not, because it's all scripted.
I don't know if it's like WWE like that or not.
I'm pretty certain it is, and I'm not gonna pay $100 bill. No Franklin's leaving my wallet to watch some baseball players do the Macarena. I'm out.
I'm with you. Like, if I'm 4, it's probably really cool.
Oh, listen.
I'm 40.
There's a ton of kids rolling through my halls every day that I see with those goofy banana hats on, and I'm like, oh, another banana hat. That tells me everything I need to know about you, kid.
Fun for the whole family.
D- for the year.
What else we got? A couple more, 2 more things. The NC State just installed a brand new scoreboard this season, and the fucking thing got hit by lightning. Like in the first half of the first game. The new screen is 7,121 square feet and features 6.6 million pixels featured and 75 audio speakers, making it the 11th largest in college football, which to know that there's 10 bigger than that tells you the kind of money that college football is working with.
Yeah.
The price tag, a cool $15 million. So it lasted 1 quarter before the skies opened up. Improved technology was no match for nature. I don't know what the return policy is on an item like that, but I hope you got some sort of warranty in place. You're gonna want to hold
the
on
one
to
at
that
Gillette. Did you see the
That's
one
good
that,
as
that
money,
the
sir.
Patriots put up?
No.
It's impressive. Runs the whole end of the stadium. It was pretty cool.
Ooh.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I suppose they've won a football game or two over there. You got
Yeah.
a few bucks in the
There's
bank.
people in the world who are starving, but we have really big screens at our couch.
Yeah.
It just costs more here. All right. And lastly, this has nothing to do with sports, but they're definitely putting up some impressive numbers. Cocaine has overtaken oil as Colombia's number one export. This from
Speaking
business.
of cocaine, he's back.
This from Business Insider magazine. Cocaine is set to become Colombia's top export this year, edging out oil products, according to Bloomberg Economics. Revenue derived from Colombia's cocaine business is nearing 20 billion, ahead of the country's 19.1 billion in oil exports. Cocaine production in Colombia is at its highest level since 1991.
I guess we really won that war on drugs.
Yep.
How are they tracking this? They're like drug dealers submitting their their 1099s.
Are we reporting our income?
You're right. Their tax schedules. What the fuck?
Evidently, President Gustavo Petro has some real lenient policies on narco trafficking.
I have a buddy who just moved to Colombia. I'm going to send him a text and ask him about that. He sent me a picture the other day of a guy in a bar that had on he asked me if it was Auburn. It was an A that had like a tiger running through it. And he goes, is that Auburn? And I go, no, bro, that's pretty far from Auburn. I don't think that has anything to do with Auburn. And then about 5 minutes later, I got one that says, yeah, he doesn't speak English and he thinks I'm real weird now. Went up and asked him.
Oh my God.
He said, I thought I found the only other person in Colombia that doesn't speak English. I was like, you're not in Kansas anymore, bro. You look like me, and I'm pretty sure you stick out down there.
Yeah. Don't get your throat slit, hey.
Yeah. Just walking around throwing "Go Tigers" at people.
Yeah. Ed Orgeron's not walking around down in Colombia, I promise you.
Nope. Yeah, so there's a fun fact. Now, instead of talking about the weather, you can drop that one at the Starbucks window.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of stimulants, did you know? So, yeah.
By the way, I heard you guys rambling about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
I love pineapple on pizza.
Plain, or does it have to be roasted? Like
Gotta
grilled?
be roasted.
Don't even think it has to be grilled. Grilled
Gotta be
pineapple
grilled.
is a whole
Well,
nother
either
thing.
way.
Yeah.
No, it's there's no wrong way to pizza. That's all I gotta say. And if you're gonna start being a gatekeeper on what I can put on a pizza, then my whole thing's out the window, because you find the ingredients that only you like that nobody else does, so that you get all the pizza. Green olive and pineapple.
It's a solid plan.
It's been working for years.
That's how anchovies were created.
That's right.
People started eating those because nobody had touched their pizza.
Yeah.
So
quit asking.
Realistic.
Hey, speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about Roll Tide. Hey, let me tell you what, easiest money I ever made was at the halftime last week of watching them and the Bulls duke it out. And it was like 10-3 at the half. I gave a young Cole Cunningham 45 points at the over and under and went ahead and cleaned his clock. I just want to say that publicly. Still haven't seen my money yet.
The SEC, is this real? Are they bleeding out talent because of the NIL and transfer portal? Is that what's happening?
I still think Alabama's going to Alabama by the end of the season, but
he hates his team.
They right now they're in a bad way. They don't have a quarterback. They've got two, which is none.
Well, they got a Notre Dame transfer, so they don't have a quarterback.
Oof.
Yeah,
that's never good. It's never good. State's gonna go in there and beat them.
Which in the past they've never needed that. They've literally lined up and just ran off tackle and just ran for 200 and 300 yards, and they had a dude in the backfield that could tote it. I find it hard to believe that there's nobody on that roster that's like that. That they still can't be the Alabama of old that lines up and goes, we're running it right here. Stop it if you want or if you can, and they still get 8 yards.
Yeah, what are you telling me? The world ran out of Eddie Lacy's? There's some Eddie Lacy's out there.
I mean, they seem to produce one every couple of years. Where's the next dude?
Yeah,
Georgia, where's the next
great.
guy?
You got, I mean, between Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, it's starting to the first 2 weeks and now 3 weeks. Yeah, it's a little early, but it does look like there's a little bit of a tilt in college football because these guys aren't waxing other teams. It's not foregone conclusion that USF's just going to get their ass handed to them.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
People going in there with a puncher's chance.
But I will say this. I mean, those teams that we're talking about, and I'm going to go ahead and call you out, Texas fans. That's who I'm talking to. Your team is still Texas, and we will by the end of the season see it. I mean, I keep, even people in my house keep claiming, wanting to get out the anointing oil and crown them champions. But, I believe it when I see it, just like the other yahoos in the chat here that want to claim in week 2 that we're winning the Super Bowl and running the table. I mean, I get it that happened once in history, but hey, well, let's wait. Let's wait. It's week 2. When we're in week 15, when we're in week 10, let's talk about it. But until then, let's just let it play out. Those teams are that way for a reason, and down the stretch, they do the same things every year. I'm not saying the sun doesn't shine on a dog's ass every now and then, but I mean, this is what it is. Let's wait and see what happens here. It's pretty interesting. A lot of parity. Yep. NFL, college, both.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was watching the Bama Texas game and just waiting for Nick Saban to absolutely lose his shit on the penalties and everything, and he didn't. And you see some of the kids it doesn't look like he has a handle on some of the kids dicking around and post on social media after the game, stuff like that. I don't know if Saban's, doing too many Geico commercials or what, but it doesn't have the same cutthroat edge that it did 3-4 years ago. So again, it's early, but it does look a little bit different. It's a little strange to see Florida State beat LSU. And so I love it though. And I'll tell you what else I love. Clemson sucks. And you know what? I like Dabo, but he's a stubborn SOB and he never admits when he's wrong. And God forbid, it's not the NIL is the reason that they're not as competitive as they used to be. God forbid that. It's like, you got to wake up and smell the roses, bud. You got to play by the new rules.
Yeah, it'd be like if the MLB legalized HGH and one team was like, no, we're above that.
It would be the Brewers.
These guys, Gundy's the same way. Gundy's the same way. These guys that don't want to get in the NIL deal. It's the new way. It's the new way. The game has changed.
Yeah,
it's literally like people standing on the sidelines going, I'm not going to partake in this newfangled electricity. I'm just going to keep using my candles.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Screw the forward pass.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to stay with the wishbone because it's really tried and true.
I love Dabo, but how can you stand at the podium and say that when your dude just transferred to Oregon State and is spinning it? I mean, you just lost somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little bit foolish. And I do love the fact that it's flattening out a little bit in these first couple weeks. Again, don't worry, Coach. I'm not anointing Texas.
I agree. Thanks.
You look at these SEC teams, and the first thought that comes to my mind is, oh, they're not 3 deep at every position anymore because they're getting poached by the Wake Forests. You turn on a random game, and it's like, this dude's a transfer from Georgia. Oh, okay. Well, that's one less stud athlete Georgia has.
Yep. He didn't want to wait 2 years.
They're not going to peel away their blue chip prospects year one, but the depth chart is definitely a lot thinner than it used to be.
It's having its effect. The cumulative effect of the portal will be felt.
And God, do I love seeing Brian Kelly lose.
Yeah.
Him and his family.
Yeah. I can't believe anybody down there tolerates him after that. Poser. Anyway.
Yeah, I love seeing him lose too, man. That was good stuff. And hey, one thing about it is that, John, you hit the nail on the head. Florida State is a juggernaut that it's kind of been a sleeping giant, and they're back. And them being relevant again is really good for college football. I mean, they haven't been relevant in some time, and it's good that the ACC has a new guy. I mean, they have a new dude. It's going to be interesting coming down the stretch to kind of see what happens. You have them, and then when you look at the Big Ten, you got pretty much Michigan and Ohio State still. So
Michigan State's going to be in some. They're in the news.
Michigan State's a dumpster fire. I mean,
we need to talk about this. This story is.
I saw today they're calling for Irv. Is that what they're going to do up there? Are they going to go ahead and hire Big Irv?
I don't know.
I mean, I saw the article today, literally, that said that that boosters and donators want what's his name replaced with Meyer, because he's the only shot they'll have to win the Big 12. And I thought,
that's such a bad look.
Let's throw every bit of any kind of ethical thing out the window, and let's just win, baby. let's just. You might as well put that on your jerseys. Yep. Just win.
Yeah.
I mean, they made a documentary about the dude. I'm sure he can coach football.
Oh yeah.
But there's got to be more to it than that. It's a bad look, like you said. It's a terrible look.
Yeah. No, but back to the overall college football. I love it this year because, let's be honest, the SEC was getting a little tired and boring. Ohio State, good. We've seen it, whatever. But now you've got a rising giant. You like sleeping giants. I think to see the rising giant in Colorado. USC is loading up. They're not bad. They've got a stud coach. And then Florida State just beat LSU. You still have your bellwethers in the SEC. I would love to see another Big Ten team be legitimate, but they're not. Michigan is, but that's the same old song and dance. Yeah. This is good. If we get the playoff and you get Colorado, FSU, USC, Texas, I mean, it's going to be shattering numbers. It's going to be amazing.
It probably won't be Colorado and USC. It would be more like Michigan, Texas, USC, and then Florida State or somebody from the.
Well, if we get an expansion in the next couple of years.
Oh, that's true. If we go to 8, yeah.
I mean, we could be talking about college football every bit as much as we talk about NFL if it keeps moving in this trajectory, and I hope it does.
Well, and how great would it be? How great would it be to see a playoff game with Colorado and FSU or Michigan and Florida State this week? Or I mean, you could name a million.
Texas, USC. I mean,
Texas,
these
USC.
are the options that we've been begging for.
Yeah.
Instead, we get Notre Dame waxed by Alabama.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. We're tapped. That's an hour. Thank you, everyone, for listening. The downloads and reviews mean a lot. We appreciate every single one of them. Head over to PatriotSportsNow.com for all of our latest goings on. Type Patriot Sports into whatever search engine you got over there. You'll find us. If you're looking for Wake and Rake, we're out there every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. Central till we're done talking football. You can find us on the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel. That's your homework for this week. Go to the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel and click subscribe. It'll take you 30 seconds, maybe even 10. We'll answer all your fantasy football questions, betting, all the pressing decisions you have to make on a Sunday morning. We will do our best to assist you with those. So we'll see you there. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.